All right, hello. Can y'all hear me? Um, can anybody hear me? Uh, thought I'd try that again. I don't know if it worked. Anybody? Anybody? No? Anybody still listening? Hey, Jeff Hill is here. Can you hear me? What's going on? How you doing? Is the audio working? I don't know if the. Oh, okay, loud and clear. Perfect. Uh, I don't know if it's my mic that's working or my headphones is working. So I'll just hold both up to my mouth and talk. So anyway, before we got a little bit sidetracked with the technical difficulties, we were talking about Suicide Squad. So Jeff, you looking forward to it? Have you already seen it? I know it's been out on HBO Max. I don't know how long it's been out, but have you had a chance to catch it yet? Have you watched Suicide Squad? Are you interested in seeing it at all? Do you want to watch it? How is that working for you? Is it of any interest to you? Oh, gonna catch it on Saturday? Okay, okay. I can respect that. Holding out. Are you going to try to see it in the theater, or you're going to watch it on HBO Max on Saturday? Hey, Michaelito's back too. Hey, thanks for finding me again. after that, after that last little debacle there. Um. Oh, okay. Well, um, Jeff, since you mentioned the Beyond the Trailer reaction thing, okay. Oh, the audio's good. The other stream is still connected. Okay. I don't know what I don't know what that means. So you're saying like I'm live two different ways right now then. So is it streaming? Is it showing this video on the other stream too? Or what's the other stream showing? That's confusing. I don't know what happened with the other stream. It let me watch my own stream. It was a Being John Malkovich type stream where I was outside of my or an out of body experience, like I went into the astral plane of YouTube streaming. That's kind of where we were with that one. I could not. Oh, the other stream is buffering. Okay, so it just shows two streams. Okay, so we're in like an astral plane, Ghostbusters. Don't cross the streams, but the streams will never cross type situation. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the other one, but I'm over here now on the struggle stream. The old not anywhere close to midnight stream is no longer working. It is obsolete. The struggle stream is the new stream. Oh, okay. So we're in a Ghostbusters, astral plane, interstellar, Kang time travel situation because now you're 30 seconds behind. All right. Well, Jeff, I don't know if you're 30 seconds behind. Michaelito, I'm not sure. But Jeff, I saw your comment about Beyond the Trailer and commenting on what she was saying. So I'll pick back up on that point because I listened to some new stuff from her. And she said anything under $40 million for the opening weekend is a disappointment. Um, I see where she's coming from, but I disagree. I think even if the movie gets 30 million, I think it'll still be fine because there's just the viewership is so scattered. Ever since HBO Max kind of killed the theatrical experience, everybody's fragmented. That was kind of, I know we all like the theater because we're all movie fans, but honestly, we're going to look back in time and see that HBO Max's decision to launch their movies day and date with the theater is what actually killed the theater going experience. Oh, okay, Jeff, I saw you also said you're going to see Suicide Squad in the theater. Okay, so Michael Leto also mentioned he was going to the theater too. All right, great. So the more the merrier. The more people going to the theater, the better. I think we should all go just to send that message loud and clear that hey, we want the theater experience. We're trying to actively protect the theater experience. It's not just about convenience or about seeing it the easiest way possible. It's about seeing it the best way possible. Yes. Okay. All right, Michaelito, you said plus premiering on HBO Max on Thursday is kind of upsetting. Yes. Okay. I agree with that. I'm glad you said that. I'll go back to the Beyond the Trailer $40 million box office thing in a second. But I'm going to harp on that point too, because you bring up an excellent point. There's no reason for HBO Max to come out with Suicide Squad on Thursday. That makes no sense. So you're 100% correct. That actually does not make a lick of sense. You're actively cannibalizing your audience at that point. If you put it out on Thursday, HBO Max, by putting it out on Thursday, is actively going after the same kind of fans that would stay up on a Thursday to go to the theater and watch it at midnight. HBO Max is actively cannibalizing the same fans that would brave the pandemic or brave whatever viruses or masks or whatever it takes, getting vaccinated, whatever, to go out and see the Suicide Squad in public with a group of fellow comic book fans. So yeah, it is upsetting. I agree with you. It just shows a disregard for theatrical in every context. It shows a disregard for theatrical from the perspective of an audience that would want to enjoy it in the theater. It's disrespectful to the theater owners, the people that are actually running these theaters, managing them, keeping them open, even though at this point I'm sure they're taking a loss, but still trying to keep it open because they believe in it, because they're hoping that one movie will trigger fans to start coming back to theaters again. And then with Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit, it shows they're trying to circumnavigate and get around theaters is hurting the talent too. So it's a lose, lose, lose for everybody. Nobody's really winning, and HBO Max isn't even really winning because they're not getting more subscribers when they do these kinds of stunts. So it's not helping. Okay. Michaelito, the reason I watched In the Heights on HBO Max was because it was a film I really wanted to see, even though I had IMAX. Okay, exactly. So that brings up an interesting point because I'm the same way. I might watch Suicide Squad tonight, but that's not going to stop me from going to go watch it in the theater too. But how many people are like us, like how you are within the Heights, how I am with the Suicide Squad? I'm sure there were others like you and others like me for both of those films, but we're in the minority. So it doesn't make sense for HBO to cannibalize its own market when we already know theaters are struggling. Why stab them in the back? Why kick them while they're down and say everything is coming out? Oh, boom. Okay. All right. Everything day and date. They could at least push it back a week. They could let Suicide Squad come out in theaters for a week, give them a week window. Then the following Saturday, it could come out on HBO Max. That would make way more sense. That would make a million times more sense. Oh, okay. Jeff Hill, I see you asked about the James Gunn Scorsese feud. Um, I'm not privy to it, but I'll look it up real quick. Unless you just, if you want to brief me on it in the chat right here, feel free to summarize it. But if not, I'm just gonna hop online real quick and kind of see what was up with it. But if it's going back to Scorsese's point that the Marvel movies aren't really cinema or the superhero movies aren't really cinema, um, on the one side, I would say he has components of a point, but on the other side, I would say it's hypocritical because he produced the Joker movie, so he profited off of the same roller coaster, the same theme park rides he's criticizing there. So I would say it's kind of whack on that side. It's kind of corny for you to talk out of your neck on one side and say that it's not art or whatever it is, but then you also want to profit off of it. So I would say, pick a side on the argument. Either it's not art and it's, oh, oh, James Gunn said that. Oh, well, no, that's correct. Okay, I didn't know that it was that. I thought it was going back to the Marvel movies being theme parks. No, actually, he's actually correct. He's 100% correct. Martin Scorsese definitely said that to get attention for The Irishman because no one was going to watch it unless he ginned up some kind of controversy. It was a smart marketing tactic. It was definitely smart to troll fans, especially him being, um, is he the most accomplished director of the 20th century? One of them. He's definitely in the top 10 directors of all time. I'm certain for most cinephiles. And he's somebody with such a vast knowledge of film, not just of his era and not just of his parents' era, but he's a true student of film going back into the 30s, going back into silent film, going back into Charlie Chaplin. If you look, I believe Martin Scorsese has his top, I want to say his top 10 films are online. He listed them all. So yeah, they're available to look at. It might even be it might be like his top 20 films, I want to say. But no, definitely James Gunn is correct. That's a very astute observation. Um, it was definitely just attention getting because at the end of the day, What what difference? I mean, does anybody really care what Martin Scorsese has Marvel movies? That's like, that's like my parents saying, "Oh, well, rap music isn't any good. Rap sucks." But I don't really care what my parents think about rap music. I'm not listening to rap music with my parents, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I don't know if y'all can hear me, but it looks like Kanye West's album is about to get previewed. The live stream just started, the Kanye West live stream. Uh, so let me turn down the Kanye West live stream because I don't know if y'all can hear it in the background. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit though. Um, Hopefully that album comes out tonight. We'll see. If it does, this is gonna be an amazing Friday for me to have Suicide Squad and the new Donda out. So I'm gonna see how that goes. I'm gonna turn the stream down, the Kanye West stream down, and then I'm gonna be right back. I'm not leaving. All right. All right. So had to turn the Kanye West stream down, but it sounds like it's starting off the same way that it started off last or 2 weeks ago on the Donda stream from Apple Music 2 weeks ago. So I'm not missing much. Um, all right, let me see where we're at with the comments. All right. The Irishman is not a piece of content that I have any desire to go back and watch. I was bored to tears. Okay, Michaelito. Yes. It looked boring, so I never watched it. So I agree with you. I'm with you. And Michaelito, actually, to kind of piggyback off your point, I think we're reaching this inflection point in movies. We're reaching a point where, on the one side, we have super self-indulgent auteurs like the Scorseses with Irishman, Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and they're making their dream projects. So Quentin Tarantino, when he made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that was exactly what he wanted to make. Sony gave him a ton of money after the whole Weinstein debacle. They wanted him, so they paid top dollar for Tarantino. They let him run wild. They let him do what he wanted. He gave him Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Netflix went after Scorsese hard, paid him whatever he wanted, got De Niro in, got Pacino in, let the movie run forever, super long runtime. But to your point, Michaelito, to what end? Okay, it ran forever, 3 hours, but what was the point? And then also, Jeff, to your point, the CGI was terrible. I was watching the CGI when I was getting a car yesterday. I was in the car dealership, and I guess they couldn't find the keys or something. But anyway, the point is, I was trapped at the car dealership, and it played the top 10 best examples of CGI of the last 10 years, or the 10 moments that pushed CGI forward in the last 10 years. And it had Avatar, had The Irishman, but I was looking, I was looking at The Irishman, and it looked terrible. Um, the Irishman really could have just had prosthetics. It also brought up Captain America: Winter Soldier. It showed when Peggy Carter was in the bed as an older woman, and Captain America was visiting her as a young man, and how they kind of CGI Haley Atwell. That was terrible. There was no need for that to be CG. Haley Atwell did not need to be CG at all, ever, at any point in Winter Soldier. Robert De Niro didn't really need to have any CGI in The Irishman, nor did Al Pacino. All of that could have been prosthetic or actors. Um, so Martin Scorsese, if he wanted to do kind of a period hopping epic like The Irishman, why not go back to the ultimate period hopping epic and go back to The Godfather 2? Give us that same give another Robert De Niro a shot. Just like Robert De Niro got his shot at playing the young Marlon Brando back in the day on Godfather 2, why not let someone else in The Irishman come and pick up Robert De Niro's torch? Where's a new young actor that could have been Robert De Niro? He could have played the younger version. There's some pretty decent actors out there. Maybe uh what is homeboy's name that plays it? Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgårds, Billy Skarsgård. He might be too tall though, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, it doesn't have to even be him. It could be somebody else. There are actors that look more like Robert De Niro than him anyway. Um, but yeah, there were other ways to go about it. It didn't really have to go the way it went. It did not make any sense at all. I did not understand that. Um, it's some of the CGI uses when it comes to things like the Winter Soldier, it's gratuitous. Um, and then when it comes to something like the Irishman, it's just unnecessary. Um, and it would be better way. It would make more sense thematically the other way. Your movie would be less of a theme park attraction, and the effects would be less distracting if we just found other actors to play the characters at younger ages. That's not the even something like Looper, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt was Bruce Willis younger, and they made him wear Bruce Willis upper lip stuff, prosthetic. That's way better than if they had tried to CGI the face right and match up Bruce Willis's performance capture. Because they also brought up the Will Smith movie with his younger self. That I believe it was Ong Lee that made that film. I never watched it because it looked terrible. The CGI is what actually made me not want to watch that movie. Can't remember what it's called, but anyway, let me hop back over to the chat. I think we all agree CGI is no good. I think everybody's on the same page with that one. Jeff has put in here, yeah, too much creative freedom for directors, not necessarily good. Case in point, Zack Snyder with Army of the Dead, and Zack Snyder just okay, yeah, exactly. Jeff, you're right. I'm right there with you. I think you have to have that right director. Um, you got to have the right person that gets that autonomy. Some directors need the push and pull. George Lucas, I think, is another example of a person as a director and as a producer. He needs those people to check him. I'm sure I don't have to remind you. Oh, Jeff Hill, Gemini Man. Yes, it was Gemini Man. Exactly. I skipped that because the CGI looked terrible, and they could have just used his son. It would have made way more sense to use either one of his sons, his older son or Jaden Smith. Um, so it would have been much better to just to run it that way. Um, yeah, Justice League definitely had a pointless use of Martian Manhunter. And actually, I don't even think Martian Manhunter was set to appear in the movie, but I think when HBO Max went out and said, "Look, we'll give you the money to finish it up," he just threw in a Martian Manhunter scene just as a tease for the fans, just for fun. I don't think that was really set up through the film, and I don't think he had that ready back in 2017 either, or 2016 when it was filming. So no, I don't think that was I don't really think that one was well done either. Army of the Dead was close. Army of the Dead was very, very close. Army of the Dead needed a few tweaks and it would have been a very solid action movie. Um, just like just a really solid script doctor. Or even just someone to come back and do a full new pass. It would have been great to get who could have come in and done a fun pass on something like that. Um, Rhett Reese from Deadpool. The Deadpool guys could have done that well. Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese. They could have had fun with Army of the Dead. That would have been a nice, fun, even like something like Zombieland that they did before. It would have been a nice contrast to Zombieland because Zombieland is fairly rooted in reality. Um, so it would have been fun to see the Zombieland writing team come in and write Army of the Dead, where the gloves are off. You know, you're in Las Vegas. You got a zombie tiger. You have this king zombie, and he's trying to have a baby zombie. So all of that would have been fun. That would have been really good. I think bringing in a different creative team with a different energy to bounce off of Zack Snyder always works better. Um, because visually he's amazing. I think Zack Snyder is one of the most visually gifted directors of the last 10 years. He can compose really striking images. 300 works because of his images, because he composed so many great shots back to back to back. Yes, some of them are shot for shot recreations of the 300 comic book by Frank Miller, but he had a few images himself that were really iconic that he did a great job bringing to life in 300. In Sucker Punch, Sucker Punch had a lot of great visuals. It didn't necessarily all hang together and make sense, but Sucker Punch had great visuals. Um, Let me see. Let me pop. I got off into a diatribe, but yeah, Jeff, you're right. Zack Snyder's not the one that needs complete creative freedom. He definitely needs to have somebody reining him in, um, because he's just not that great of a writer, and he has no sense of pace. Because Zack Snyder's Justice League had terrible scene pacing. There was that weird hymn with the Aquaman choir after Aquaman dove into the water, and they were kind of singing their praises to Aquaman. It was weird. It was very awkward. It was very slow. So yeah, um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that one was about. So let me hop back to the comments. Michael Lito, do you think Snyder made the film the way he intended, which was also kind of a screw you to Warner Media? Um, I I do think Zack Snyder made the movie the way he intended, which is kind of going back to Jeff Hill's point that yeah, the creative freedom definitely just gave him enough rope to hang himself with. He did not need that much creative freedom at all. He should have gotten way less money, been allowed to tighten up a few scenes, and move on down the road because the movie isn't any better, even though it's longer. The Joss Whedon version is terrible. His version is terrible. They're both terrible, just two different ways. Neither one of them is especially great. Um, but okay, to the point about being a screw you to Warner Media, I think the entire project was pretty much a screw you to Warner Media, honestly. I don't think there was any one part of it that was more or less a screw you to Warner Media, um, because he didn't take a check for it. He didn't get paid to make Zack Snyder's Justice League. He made it completely for fun. It was all on a lark. All the only money he got was to pay actors to come back, finish effects, get some sets built. That was it. He didn't. Zack Snyder didn't take a check for making Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was strictly for fun. So all of it, I think, was a screw you to Warner Media. That's why he threw in Jeff. To your point, that's why he threw in Martian Manhunter, because he was trolling the fans. He knew if he threw out the Martian Manhunter thing, the fans were going to start saying, "Oh, we want to see no, no, we need to get Zack Snyder back. We need the whole Snyderverse to come back." So he was he was definitely doing that as a tease to the fans to try to get them to start talking about the Snyderverse and bring back the Snyderverse. So you're definitely right. It was definitely a screw you. Um, Definitely was just okay, Warner Media, whatever. He just didn't care. I think you're 100% right. He's not the biggest Warner Media fan, um, and moreover, extra extra screw you to Warner Media was to go do Zack Snyder's Justice League, and essentially Michael Ito, when he made Zack Snyder's Justice League, he's making it as an advertisement for Army of the Dead. So, basically, the whole Zack Snyder Justice League, that's putting his name out in the ether, in the culture, bringing his name, getting people hyped back up. Because now that they're hyped up again, this Zack Snyder Justice League has him back in the public consciousness. Then he says, "Oh, by the way, I'm on Netflix now. Go check out my Army of the Dead movie. Everybody that watched Zack Snyder Justice League, y'all go to Netflix and go stream it." So it was an extra screw you because it was hyping up his next project and taking people off of HBO Max. So it was actually taking fans off HBO Max over to Netflix, and they paid him to advertise his next film. So Michaelito, yes, you're 100% right. The Zack Snyder Justice League film was definitely a huge troll, definitely meant to be a screw you to Warner Media, and it was definitely a big ad. It was an advertisement. It was all an advertisement for Army of the Dead. Because think about it. Think about what a great chess move this was. He goes to do Zack Snyder's Justice League, didn't take a check for it, did it for free, but Warner Media sent him some money to go hire the actors, go get the sets built, go get some more effects done. Then you just put it out. It's critic proof. It doesn't. The people that wanted it didn't care about critics in the first place. They weren't waiting to see what critics thought. They just wanted the new version. So you're putting this into the ether. Raising your awareness, people are becoming rabid. You're getting more fans, more fans, more fans, more excited, more excited, more excited. Super amp, super amp, super amp. So, you're trending. And now because you're trending, you send them over to Army of the Dead. You get your fans riled up, get them trending. The genius move, the chess move, the brilliant move was when Zack Snyder started to interact with the fans, when he started popping up on YouTube, when he started talking about the film with different YouTube channels, doing interviews. As Zack Snyder started to pop up, started to engage with the fans, validate the fans, he's getting them more and more excited, more and more riled up. So it goes from that. Then he says, look, Netflix, because Netflix is all metrics. He can say, Netflix, look, I was trending. I was the #1 film on HBO Max for however long. I'm trending on Twitter for however long. I've been on these YouTube channels. I got the YouTube channels to talk about me for however long. I'm the #1 trending video clip on YouTube. I got this many views on YouTube. So now he can funnel all of those analytics, all the analytics he got for Justice League, he can take over to Netflix and say, now I need my exclusive deal. Give me my production deal, all over deal. And they give him the all around deal. So now he's going from HBO Max, which, he never really asked to be on HBO Max. The fans just were so loud that HBO brought him in and sat him down. So he was able to harness that energy from HBO Max, redirect it to Netflix, and then redirect that interest that Netflix gave him into a new all-around production deal, so he can move his entire production shingle from Warner Media over to Netflix. And that part, Michaelito, that was the screw you, taking his production company from Warner Media, moving it over to Netflix, shows a major sea change. That is the first domino. Zack Snyder going over to Netflix is really not that far away. I mean, talent-wise, it's very far. It's oceans and leagues away. But in the public consciousness, Zack Snyder taking his production deal from Warner Media to Netflix is not that far away from Christopher Nolan eventually taking his production deal from Warner Media, maybe not to Netflix, but to Amazon. Now, that idea is not that foreign because I'm sure Christopher Nolan paid attention. When Zack Snyder moved from Warner Media over to Netflix, Christopher Nolan saw that. He's aware of that. He's not, I mean, I believe he said he doesn't have a cell phone, but he's not that unplugged. I'm sure Warner Brothers staff that he interacts with told him about that. I'm sure people in the business told him about that. I know he didn't miss it. So that was a shot across the bow. That was a signal to Christopher Nolan. Hey, if you want to jump ship, real auteurs are doing it. Real directors are doing it. Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan have a relationship that may have even talked about it because Christopher Nolan has been bad mouthing Warner Media for that day and date HBO Max release nonsense from the beginning. So Christopher Nolan is not a fan. Of course, the people that made that decision are no longer at AT&T. So there's a new merger coming up that's going to bring about new people in control. And I guess we'll see how that goes or who reacts to it. I guess y'all probably aren't too concerned about the Kanye West album, but it's playing in the background and it seems like it's more or less the same album. Looks like he cleaned some things up, extended some songs a bit. I don't know if the lyrics are finished because last time I feel like he had maybe 70% of his lyrics done, but it doesn't sound like his lyrics are really too much more polished. But recently he kind of quit rapping with any kind of real finesse. But anyway, hopping back over to the DC side of things. All right. Yeah, Michaelito, that's exactly what I meant. Okay, so then yeah, we're on the same page. And then, well, if Christopher Nolan signed with any streamer other than Amazon, it would be hypocritical. Amazon has been willing in the past to go purely theatrical. Okay. And you're making a good point. Amazon has been the only one. They got Manchester by the Sea. That's a big feather in their cap. They had The Big Sick. So they've had movies that went theatrical and stayed theatrical for a while. Like you said, they got theatrical windows. So Amazon definitely can make that point. But at the same time, I believe Coming to America too, That was I don't know if that was day and date. I want to say it was day and date theaters and Amazon. Um, Honestly, if Jeff Bezos really cared, Michaelito, he could just take over the theater world. If Jeff Bezos really wanted to just completely run entertainment, he could run entertainment. I just don't think he cares. I don't think he sees enough money in entertainment. There's definitely a lot of money to be had, but I mean, for him, entertainment is just advertising for Amazon Prime. So if it's not advertising Amazon Prime, he doesn't really care. Um, he's not super like he's more interested in the Washington Post. He's more interested in newspaper business. He wants to control the flow of information, factual information. He's not really concerned about fiction. He has no, if he might be interested in bringing science fiction to life, but he has no interest in just fiction. I don't, I don't know. I just don't think, yeah, I don't really think he cares. He could, Jeff Bezos could just come out with a chain of theaters. He could buy AMC, he could buy Regal, or create his own chain, or buy Cinema Movie Grill. A few different ways he could go. If Jeff Bezos really wanted to make a big splash, he's bought MGM. He could buy a chain of theaters. He could make an entire vertically integrated entertainment system. Would he do it? Probably not. Not unless somebody like Apple steps up. If Apple steps up and starts to really make heavy entertainment moves, he might make them just to keep up, just to keep appearances. But I believe that's Jennifer Salt that works for him as the head of his production. Um, so I don't, I don't know. I don't think he's interested. So unless somebody else just really makes a ton of money in entertainment, Jeff Bezos will sit up and take notice and probably start to invest more heavily. But I mean, the money he put into securing the Lord of the Rings and getting filming started was chump change. He's not super. It's a lot of money for regular human beings. Um, but I mean, even for regular celebrities, it's a lot of money. But you know, he's multiple hundreds of billions heir. So half a billion to get some free publicity for spending so much money on Lord of the Rings pays for itself. Now everybody's looking at Amazon again. Um, and you know, Amazon really has done very well for itself on on the Amazon Prime end, Prime Video end. Because when you think about it, Amazon Prime has not really tried that hard, and it's still in the conversation. It's still relevant. Amazon is not even working hard to be relevant, but it's just as relevant as HBO Max, probably more relevant than HBO Max, really. Invincible took off, The Boys took off, Coming to America took off. Um, what else has Amazon done recently? All this Lord of the Rings controversy, all that is free publicity. Everybody's talking about back and forth and back and forth. Um, is it good to spend that much money? Is Lord of the Rings too woke now? Blah 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 blah. Amazon doesn't care one way or the other whether you think it's woke or not woke or anything else. They just want you to buy. They want you to watch. They want you to tune in. They want you to stream. How you feel about it is indifferent. The streaming is the streaming. Um, yeah, man, Mikey Lito, I promise. I feel like we share a brain on a few of these things. I feel like we're pretty much right in sync. I agree with you totally. Amazon Prime Video is hideous. It's terrible. Amazon Prime Video does not look good at all. Um, Bosch is a good show. Um, but Amazon, but that's my point. You're making my point. Amazon doesn't care about streaming at all. Streaming is totally an afterthought. Their interface is horrible. It's ugly. Hulu actually has the best interface to me. Maybe I'm missing something. Or HBO Max. Hulu or HBO Max is the best looking of all the streamers and the easiest to navigate through. So, um, actually, you know what? Apple TV looks pretty good. Apple TV does look pretty good, and it looks like it's fairly easy to move through. But they have no content really besides Servant. Servant is the one thing I care about that Apple does. I need to catch up on Servant. I saw the first four, 3 or 4 episodes, five, something like that. I saw the first good chunk of Servant. It was really interesting. So I need to finish that up. But yeah, no, Amazon Jeff Bezos doesn't really care. Amazon Prime is really ugly. Amazon Prime is hideous. Amazon Prime is ugly, hideous, slow, clunky, ugly. Uh-uh. Amazon is terrible. Oh, Jeff Hill, I didn't even catch your question. What's your take on the Snyder's whole run at DC from Watchmen to Man of Steel and the ultimate dissolution of the Snyderverse? Um, I was actually the number one Man of Steel fan to answer your question, Jeff. I was a big I was a massive Man of Steel fan when Man of Steel first came out. I was definitely in the theater opening day, stood up in the movie theater. I was excited when Russell Crowe jumped off when when Krypton started to explode. He jumps, lands on his dragon, and shouts and takes off. Yeah, I was Jeff. I was definitely there for that. I was 100% there for it. Um, Man of Steel was a big deal for me. And then when I was on Twitter after it came out. I believe Joe Mad said it was like the best superhero movie since The Dark Knight or something. So I was like, oh man, even Joe Mad loves Man of Steel. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Blah blah. So yeah, that was a big deal for me. Looking back at it though, the the killing, I kind of repressed it honestly. Superman killing at the end, I just put that away in the back of my head. I didn't even acknowledge it. But as it was brought back up, and I watched things on YouTube about it later on, and saw more commentary, I just kind of got to thinking, man, this is kind of terrible. Superman should not be snapping anybody's neck. This is not good. And his costume is too dark. And it kind of, once they said, oh, why did he kill Zod at the end? When people started asking that, it made me just kind of step back and look at everything and say, you know, I don't know if I did like this movie. I would say, and then when people brought up all of the destruction being caused by Superman, then I kind of thought about it like, yeah, maybe he did miss the point of Superman a little bit. I was caught up in the spectacle the first time I saw it. I just got caught up in seeing Superman's powers really brought to life for the first time on film. Because my first interaction with Superman wasn't Christopher Reeve. My first interaction was Brandon Routh in Superman Returns. So that movie was super slow, super ponderous. Ralph looks like Christopher Reeve, of course, but everything else about the movie was terrible to me. I could not tolerate Superman Returns. So this is the exact opposite of Superman Returns. So I was very excited. I enjoyed Watchmen too. Um, I never thought it was better than the book. Um, and they didn't quite catch. And this is kind of this is a nitpick and probably a very personal nitpick, but Billy Crudup did a great job as Dr. Manhattan, but I don't think he was the right choice for that role. His voice as Dr. Manhattan did not something about him as Dr. Manhattan didn't 100% sit right. Yahya Abdul Mateen, he was closer, but then he was the wrong race. But his attitude, his mannerisms were a little bit closer, kind of that spacey, kind of that more distant. Uh, him being a little bit less connected to his humanity, that came through a lot more in Yaya's performance than in Billy Crudup's performance. But overall, I didn't have any problem with Watchmen. I really enjoyed the beginning of Watchmen. Man, as soon as Watchmen came out, I went home and tried to find it on bootleg. I don't even know. I might have found like a torrent or something, and I just replayed it. Then I got the DVD when it came out, replayed it. The Blu-ray, replayed it when I started working in at a movie store. So yeah, Watchmen. And I just recently bought it again. So yeah, Watchmen. I'm actually a fan of Zack Snyder's version of Watchmen. I think it came out too early though. I think I think that Zack Snyder's version of Watchmen came out way, way, way too soon. Um, I didn't really have a problem with the diversions. Oh, that was the wrong word. The divergence. I didn't have any problem with Zack Snyder diverging from Alan Moore's original work, Dave Gibbons' original work. I thought Watchmen was fine because he did the best he could at that point in superhero films development. The Watchmen movie was a movie that should have come out now. If Watchmen came out now, it would be the biggest hit in the history of superhero film. The exact same movie. If he had put the exact same movie out now, it would have gone a billion, $2 billion because it's breaking down all of the things we just got through seeing. So to have Avengers Endgame come out, Watchmen would almost be a parody because Dr. Manhattan is almost a parody of Thanos. He has the same powers as Thanos, but his mind is somewhere, his consciousness is somewhere completely different. The conclusions he draws with Thanos' powers are completely antithetical. So he becomes apathetic, where Thanos becomes super controlling and micromanaging, and oh, only half the people can live. Dr. Manhattan is just like, okay, well, whatever. I don't know if any of this matters. All right, I'm leaving. So he goes a completely opposite way. So it would have been fascinating to see Watchmen come out now. That would have been really entertaining. Um, so I think Watchmen was good. I would definitely say Watchmen is the best Zack Snyder DC film. Then we have Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League as kind of a triptych. Um, Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League. Which one was the most successful? Let me go back and think about those. What was the most successful out of those three? Um, mm, mm, mm. What was the most successful? I think Justice League was actually the best out of those three. Honestly, Man of Steel is the most rewatchable. I would go back and watch Man of Steel again if I had to rewatch any of those three movies. But I think Justice League is really the most successful out of his three DC Snyderverse films. Um, the reason why I would say Justice League is the most successful is because his cinematography was much better. I feel like he got the best performances out of his actors in Justice League. I feel like he did a great job casting Justice League. I think J.K. Simmons was great as Commissioner Gordon. He didn't get much to do, but he was still great. He was still well cast. J.K. Simmons was great. Gal Gadot, great. She sounds like Jean-Claude Van Damme. All right, we're going to pause here because this is an important question. Who else thinks Gal Gadot sounds like Jean-Claude Van Damme? We need to talk about that. If I get any new subscribers, you guys need to admit it. Gal Gadot sounds exactly like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Their accent, the cadence, the tone of voice, saying everything like they're slightly confused. Gal Gadot and Jean-Claude Van Damme are exactly the same. All right. Anyway, let's go back over to the comments here. Michaelito, I own a lot of digital movies and finding my content on their platform is impossible. Yeah, I know. Amazon is terrible about that. I have the same issue because I have Movies Anywhere. So my Movies Anywhere will put it on Apple, put it on Amazon. It'll put it on, who else? Apple, Amazon, YouTube. You can watch it on a few. And yeah, Amazon is definitely the hardest one to get to. Amazon, just the whole setup is so ugly. And then you can't really watch, like, you can't just search it through Amazon search. And then when you find the movie, you click on it and you own it. Amazon will take you to some other version. Like you have to go to your library to watch it. I don't know. It's very weird. It's confusing. It's unnecessarily confusing and it's ugly. Okay, Michael, I didn't have a problem with it. Didn't have a problem with Man of Steel, you're saying, or didn't have a problem with Watchmen? I didn't have a problem with Man of Steel at first, but it bothered me later on as I thought about it. I still don't have a problem with Watchmen. Thought it was great. I still think Watchmen is great. Not as good as the TV show, but still good. I don't think it's trash. Michael Leto and therein, where I have a problem. MCU is a variation on a theme, a separate universe in the multiverse, if you will. Why does Snyder or any other creator for that matter have to stick to the comics? Okay, so all right, Michael Leto didn't have a problem with Zod's killing. Okay, so on your first point about sticking to comics, Zack Snyder didn't have to stick to the comics, and I actually don't have a problem with him sticking to the comics or not sticking to the comics when it comes to Watchmen. I would say when it comes to Watchmen, my problem would be that he didn't get the humor. He didn't understand Watchmen. Um, so I don't I think that was the biggest issue, honestly. I think his issue was not understanding Watchmen's tone. He played it completely straight, and Watchmen is not completely straight. Alan Moore wrote that as more of a sardonic, just a really dry parody, a really dark dystopian parody. And also just to take on the political times. He was doing Watchmen, he was doing V for Vendetta, From Hell. All of this was an indictment of the time. They were not written in a vacuum. They were written in relationship to what Reagan was doing, in relationship to what Thatcher was doing in the UK. So all of that was informing the creative work. All of that was political commentary. So Zack Snyder completely missed the comedy. He completely missed the political commentary, and he just made a straight superhero action movie called Watchmen with the same characters. So that was more the issue with Watchmen. Sticking to the comics, I don't really care. I think him changing it to Doctor Manhattan being uh, the main crux of the problem, Ozymandias weaponizing Doctor Manhattan and people fearing him, that made sense. That was a great change, actually. That might have even been a better ending than the alien thing. Making it Doctor Manhattan makes more sense. I think it makes the narrative a little bit tighter, maybe too tight, maybe too clean, but I think that change actually was good. Michaelito, I didn't have a problem with Zod's killing. Yeah, I didn't really have a problem with Zod being killed in the abstract. The way it was done is what bothered me. Zod being killed was not bad. Um, I think Superman can kill. I think it's a very fine line. I think it should be the whole point of the movie, though. I don't think it should just come at the end and then we move on. And he just, him and Lois Lane kiss right after. I don't think that would be the way it goes. I think Superman could kill. I think there could be a lesson, just like I think Injustice does a good job with it, where Superman kills the Joker and then there's a massive fallout and that breaks the Justice League. I think there's a way to make Superman killing relevant, and it doesn't even have to be injustice. It could be something where Superman, he could have killed someone he was younger, regretting it and thinks about it, or he could be an established hero and be pushed and then kill someone and be left in this state of doubt. Was there another way I could have handled it? Was that the right way? So yeah, I think that would work. Just doing it that way seems like that would work better. But killing Superman killing is heavy, so you really have to take that apart from a few angles, really dissect it, justify that. Jeff Hill, you've shared your love of Aquaman. Or yeah, definitely, I definitely love it. Aquaman is the best DC animated. Oh, DC animated. I'm sorry, is the best DCEU film. Where does it rank for you in the pantheon of DC movies, and why do you? Oh, okay. Why do I like Aquaman? Okay, yeah. Of all the DCEU films, Aquaman is the best one. So when I say DCEU, I'm saying after Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, Wonder Woman, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman 2. I think that's all of them. I think that's all the DC movies. Um, if I'm missing one, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, um, Aquaman is just man. There's not too much to dislike about Aquaman. The ending was a little uh, lame, a little anticlimactic, really dark. I think the ending of Aquaman was really dark. It was kind of hard to make out what was happening when he was fighting Ocean Master, just visibly. It just wasn't, the choreography just wasn't super legible, and it was raining. But Aquaman as a movie, as an experience, Aquaman was a great experience. I think films have lost some of that wonder, some of that sheen, some of that luster, where you're going into the movie and experiencing something. You're seeing something different. You're being assaulted visually. You're being assaulted through the audio. There's so many different ideas hitting you so fast. I mean, you're talking to somebody. I also like John Carter a lot. Okay, so make of that what you will. Take that, take it or leave it. I really enjoyed John Carter. I thought Andrew Stanton did a great job with John Carter. Thought John Carter was better than the whole prequel trilogy, better than anything Disney Star Wars has done. John Carter was great, better than Phantom Menace, better than Attack of the Clones, better than Revenge of the Sith, better than oh my gosh, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. That all that stuff sucks. John Carter was great. So coming from a person that thought John Carter was great, Aquaman was the next movie after John Carter to really jump deep into lore, to really jump headfirst into a world, to really give us this fully immersive universe and let us just be overwhelmed, not have to just hold our hand, but just hit you with so many cool scenes. Aquaman is there. Black Manta's there. Black Manta's son is there too. Dolph Lundgren is there. Amber Heard is here. And just Willem Dafoe. No one, no one, not no one can talk trash like any movie Willem Dafoe is in. Whether it's Never Die in LA, whether it's this, no. Antichrist, no. I will not handle any Willem Dafoe slander. Willem Dafoe is great. He wasn't in this movie that much, but still love to see him every time I see him. Willem Dafoe has never been in a movie, and I'm like, oh my god, Willem Dafoe. Here we go. Let me just tolerate this guy. I'll do what I can to tolerate him a little bit, but I wish he would leave. No, never said that. I'll never say that. Willem Dafoe is an amazing, 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 amazing top tier actor. Willem Dafoe is in the top. Willem Dafoe could be in the top 15 actors of all time. Maybe even like 12. Top 12, top 10. Willem Dafoe is great. But that movie wasn't about him. Jason Momoa, my goodness. Jason Momoa is somebody that is just effortlessly interesting. Jason Momoa might be the only actor, well, I don't know, besides maybe Steven Seagal, but for the wrong reasons, that can just sit up on the screen, not do anything, not say anything, and be very interesting. Not that he's a good actor, great actor. He's a decent actor. He's not super expressive. He's not the most just, oh, super hilarious. Oh, great comic timing. I think that's more Chris Hemsworth thing. I think Chris Hemsworth, of all the tall, swole dudes, I think he's the most comedically agile. But nobody is better looking. Jason Momoa is the most handsome man in Hollywood. That's a fact, Jack. That's a Fendi fact. And he's just an interesting guy to look at. Jason Momoa he's Aquaman to me. Jason Momoa being cast as Aquaman is at the same level as Robert Downey Jr. being cast as Iron Man. They should just change the comics, make him Jason Momoa in the comics. I feel like they're trying to do a weird have their cake and eat it too thing right now in the comics where he's blonde, but he has the Jason Momoa tattoos. No. Forget about it. Just let Arthur Curry be Polynesian. It's fine. It's fine. It's not even really woke. It's not super woke. It's only woke if you make somebody black. You just randomly make a character black, that's woke. Um, Jason Momoa should just be Aquaman in the comic books, in real life. He was well. He was in. That was incredible. That was Zack Snyder's best piece of casting. That was better than Gal Gadot, and I thought Gal Gadot was pretty well cast as Wonder Woman, but no, Aquaman was well cast. Dolph Lundgren in the movie was well cast. The effects were ridiculous. Aquaman's got the shark monsters flying through. James Wan got the big crocodile monsters flying through. Um, the big dinosaur sea creatures flying through. He really gave you something comic book, not comic book like corny, but he gave you something really comic book like visually assaulting. So yeah, that was man. Um, Aquaman was great. Aquaman had so many great colors. The beginning of Aquaman was so bright, beautiful. Nicole Kidman is in love with Tamora Morrison. You know, they're starting this relationship. They develop, they grow. She's kind of this light in his life. The whole movie brightens up. Then she disappears. And so things get darker, darker, darker until, you know, Aquaman meets up with Amber Heard. And then they kind of go on a bright little, like a little miniature Indiana Jones adventure. They have their little time together. They run around, they go through the sand in the desert. It was just a visually engaging movie. It was a fun movie to look at. How many movies are fun to look at? I can't even name, besides Tenet, I can't even think of a movie that was fun to look. Well, Suicide Squad now too coming up. But other than that, there haven't been any movies that are just fun to look at. A movie that you can enjoy watching. Something that even if you just turn the sound off, you can enjoy looking at Aquaman. It's just a great looking movie. Um, Amber Heard was the only miscast person, and not even into the whole Amber Heard beating Johnny Depp and abused, blah blah blah. I don't really care about that, but she was just miscast. Amber Heard's not a good actress. She's pretty lame. She's pretty terrible. I don't think I've ever seen Amber Heard good. She was all right in Pineapple Express, but even then, I mean, that could have been any teen actress really. So never seen Amber Heard in a good movie. She's a bad actress. Sorry, not related to the abuse thing, but yeah, she's kind of trash. Everything else about Aquaman is great. Nicole Kidman is great. Destroyer is great. I believe that's her too. Anyway, moving on. Jeff Hill, I agree. There were moments in Aquaman where I was just in awe of the world building. Yes, it almost felt anime-esque. Yes, okay, exactly. Yes, yes, Jeff, I agree. Yes, there are definitely moments in Aquaman where you are in awe. That's what I love about it. You're 100% right. It is about overwhelming you with the world building and just feeling like you're stepping into this whole just kingdom, dynasty, all kind of legacy of characters, just the wildest things happening. So yeah, no, you're right. I agree with you 100%. It is definitely about the world building. Um, that's the main appeal of Aquaman for sure. It felt almost anime esque. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Um, Trying to think of what anime kind of touches on the same feeling. It, Aquaman did the world building that George Lucas should have done with the Gungans in episode one. I feel like James Wan did the right version of the Gungan thing. He gave all of that underwater stuff stakes. Maybe it's just the effects being better, kind of it gripped me a little bit more having underwater drama and back and forth and espionage and political subterfuge. Michaelito making a character black. We'll get to that. Not tonight. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely talk about making a character black. If y'all come back to my stream either tomorrow or Monday, just remind me. If y'all come back and watch my stream, I'm gonna do one tomorrow night, Friday night. Then I'm gonna do one Monday night. So if you guys just remind me, we can talk about making the character black. Michaelito, just on that point, real quick though, definitely read next Batman Second Son. Um, anybody interested in reading, I always recommend uh, next Batman Second Son. If you're interested in comic books at all, definitely check out next Batman Second Son. Um, the dynamic between Lucius Fox and his son Jace Fox, the new Batman, the way they interact, their conversation is incredibly nuanced, incredibly deep. I feel like Jace Fox has gotten kind of written over quickly because he was viewed as just a black Batman. And so I was that way too. So I'm not gonna put it on anybody else. I wrote off Jace Fox too, just from reading Future State because he had no personality in Future State. They didn't have enough time. They were trying to hurry up and get him through those Hugo stories and then push him along. So they could take a step back and then start working towards Future State with everything James Tynion was doing with the Magistrate. So that was my fault too. But I went back and read Next Batman Second Son with Travel Foreman. John Ridley and Travel Foreman did an amazing job with Jace Fox. You guys definitely please go read Next Batman Second Son. It's not even about race swapping the character. It's about interrogating Jace Fox as a rich person and calling privilege into question. So I thought it was very thoughtful. I thought it was really deep. Um, I thought it was just, man, so well executed, way beyond anything I could have ever expected. Jace Fox is definitely, he's one of my favorite DC characters now. He went from being just completely token nonsense to me to being super nuanced, super interesting. I can't wait to see what they do with the character next. But yeah, Batman Second Son is definitely, go check out the Next Batman stuff. Not the Future State. Future State is kind of whatever, you could take it or leave it. But Next Batman Second Son, the series with Travel Foreman, the second series, I believe it was online first. It was on the internet. Then they came out with it as a 4-issue miniseries. But I believe it's like maybe 12 issues online, like 12 mini issues or something. But it doesn't matter how you read it. It's John Ridley and Travel Foreman. It's great. It's amazing. It's really, really good. It's the best Batman comic I've read in quite some time. Let me hop back to the comments. Michaelito Snyder must have had a great deal with Warner. He's listed as a producer on 84. Oh, I did not know he was a producer on 84. The Suicide Squad, Gotham City Sirens. Oh, Deadshot. I didn't even know there was a Deadshot movie coming. But yeah. Zack Snyder's wife is a great producer. Zack Snyder's wife takes care of him, so I'm sure she set him up with a great deal. And I'm sure Zack Snyder just saw what Christopher Nolan was doing and copied the moves. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder saw what Christopher Nolan was doing, got his agents on it, got his lawyer on it, and made sure to try to copy the Christopher Nolan production deal. Michael Olson was a lawyer, so his deal is great. He's a producer on every piece of Batman media, on TV, direct to DVD, in theaters, games. Michael Olson is across every bit of Batman media for that exact same point too, Michaelito, for that same reason, just having a great deal. A matter of fact, he was the one that approached all the movie companies to try to get Batman adapted back in the late 70s, early 80s, before Warner Brothers finally took it on and adapted it with Tim Burton and Michael Keaton. So it was Michael Olson. I believe he was the first professor to teach comic books in a class. Michael Olson, I believe, was a lawyer, and he also taught comic books as a class. And he went from being a fan of comics to acquiring the license for Batman and then shopping the rights for Batman around the various studios himself. So yeah, Michael Olson deserved the deal. I don't know what Zack Snyder did for his deal though, but yeah, I'm sure it's great. Also didn't know there's a Deadshot movie coming. I'm excited to see the Deadshot movie. Gotham City Sirens. Depends on who they get to direct it. It could be great. Catwoman is great. Who else? They have Catwoman. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because Jay Electronica's rapping too on this Donda album, so that's crazy. I loved his album last year, but yeah, Gotham City Sirens is Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. I mean, it depends on who else they pull in. They could pull Zatanna in. Who else could show up in Gotham City Sirens? I guess you could kind of stretch it and put Killer Frost. I mean, recently Nora Freeze was introduced in Detective Comics, so Mr. Freeze's wife could pop up. Black Canary could pop up. Who else would be an interesting siren? I guess Talia al Ghul, but that's not really her lane, the siren thing. But there are a few interesting sirens that they can jump into. Gotham City Sirens could be good. Just depends on who they get to direct that and who they cast. Jeff Hill, haven't heard much about Batman Second Son, but just searched it, and the suit looks off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The new suit looks great too. Both suits. There's a like a proto suit. Okay, well, there's the Batwing suit that I think Duke Duke Fox has, or I'm sorry, Luke Fox has. Luke Fox, I think, has a cool suit, a Batwing suit, but then I think there's another prototype, and then I think Jace Fox gets his final Batman suit. Both of them are great. His future state Batman suit is really cool, and then his proto suit is really good too. So yeah, the suit is great. Please pick it up, Jeff. Pick it up. Michaelito. Amazon has a hardcover on pre-order, 7 September. Yeah, okay, exactly. Yeah, y'all get that. Get the hardcover. It's great. Or I mean, if you live by a comic book shop, you have access to it. Go out and get the 4 issues, because sometimes hardcovers are expensive for no reason. But definitely get the 4 issues, man. If you can find them. Next Batman Second Son. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Actually, hold up so y'all can see what it looks like. Bam. All right, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know if y'all can see it or if the glare is bad, but this is it. Let me see if I can even find one of the better, because Travel Foreman is one of my favorite artists too. So I'm gonna see if I can find one of the really good scenes in here, but not spoil it though. Uh, Let me see. I don't want to spoil. I'll show this. This won't spoil. So yeah, if y'all can kind of see, there's some great, really good action scenes. Travel Foreman does a lot of great action. He does some good widescreen action blocking and paneling. Y'all go check it out. It's really good. Um, Again, it's next Batman Second Son. It's only 4 issues, but really good 4 issues. Great series. Go check it out. Next, I don't know if it's backwards. Does that work? Does that make it look better? I don't know how to make it look better, but next Batman Second Son, definitely go read that. That is worth your time. You will not regret reading next Batman Second Son. That was well done. That was very, very, very well done. Series, much better than I ever would have expected. Um, because it hits especially close to home for me, because the same thing that John Ridley writes about actually happened in real life here in Texas. I won't spoil it, but I don't know, maybe John Ridley even knew the story and based his story on this real event. Um, but there was a similar thing happened in real life to what he wrote about in Next Batman. So it was great. It's exciting. It's really exciting. It's interesting. That's the biggest thing. Next Batman Second Son is actually interesting. It actually wants you to think. It actually wants you to respond back. It wants you to agree, disagree. It wants you to get into some kind of a discussion with John Ridley as a writer, which is the best part about any comic book or any work of art. It's a conversation. John Ridley is not trying to give you answers, which is the best part. I think that's what really separates it from other superhero stories. It's not moral. Next Batman doesn't have a moral. It's just it's making you think, it's raising questions. It's been a long time since a comic book wasn't woke or wasn't trying to preach or wasn't trying to make some kind of a political point. John Ridley's not trying to do any of that stuff, because, I mean, everybody's actions are defensible. Nobody does anything stupid. Anyway, I won't spoil it, but it's good. There's a central decision to the film I'm sorry, to the film. Central decision to the story that really it was a great twist that really brought it to life. Jeff Hill, how would you do Superman in the modern age? Are we too jaded today to accept a positive Boy Scout Superman? How would I do Superman? I don't know if I talked about this on Raw Observations. I might have talked about it on Raw Observations, but I would go straight to Channing Tatum. If Warner Brothers would have asked me what's next with Superman, I would have said what's next, and what should have been 10 years ago was Channing Tatum. Um, I think Channing Tatum is a very human, very genuine looking actor. I don't know how I've never met him or seen any behind the scenes stuff of him actually acting one way or another way, but Channing Tatum just looks super, super genuine. He has that really like that Midwestern kind of hard scrabble look, like he grew up maybe on a farm. He doesn't look as clean and polished as a lot of the actors. He doesn't look like a city slicker. He looks like, a matter of fact, he had that movie. Um, he had the movie Fighting with Terrence Howard, where he was like a bum guy that just washed up in New York one day, and he looked like it. So yeah, I would go to Channing Tatum. Um, and then what story? Let me think. Let me think. I'll probably go to Parasite first. Then Parasite, then maybe Mongol, and then Dark Side for the third, for the end of the trilogy. Dark Side will be last. Or who else? Because I don't like Dark Side. He's kind of been done to death. Uh, let me think. Let me think. Who else could go? Parasite. Of course, Mongol has to be the second. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Mongol is the end of the trilogy. Start off with Parasite, then Bizarro. Second movie is Bizarro. Then third movie is Parasite. I mean, third movie is Mongol. So Parasite, Bizarro, Mongol. Parasite first, then Bizarro, then Mongol. And Parasite, Parasite is a good first villain. Uh, I think Parasite is a good first villain because Parasite is taking Superman's crutch. Superman's crutch is strength. That's what he's known for. He's super fast. He's super strong. Parasite takes away Superman's crutch of being strong. So it immediately challenges the audience. If Superman isn't super strong and super fast and all this, what is he? What makes him Superman with no powers? So if we address that up front, it gets to your point about being a positive Boy Scout. So you get into his personality, into his ingenuity, into his intelligence, into his ability to think on his feet, into his altruism. Even if he might not survive, he would still try to help this old woman that might get injured by a car Parasite is throwing. He'll risk his own life and limb to save someone else. So taking away his powers reveals more about his personality, more about what actually makes him tick. So Parasite would be the first one. And it would also be the beginning of his relationship with Lex Luthor. So I think Parasite would be an experiment from Lex Luthor that kind of goes awry, trying to, create these different experiments on ways to take Superman's powers for himself. Parasite would be the first one. Then in the second movie, it'd be Bizarro. Lex Luthor, maybe taking blood or specimen from Parasite to go and create some clone of Superman. And then that becomes Bizarro in the second movie. And we kind of end the first movie seeing him in the lab, testing the blood. And there's a little fetus, a little Bizarro fetus. And he's thinking he's cracked the code, but really he just produced Bizarro. Then the second movie, I think, would pick up with Bizarro. And again, it challenges Superman outside of strength. Bizarro could fight Superman all day. Bizarro's stronger than Superman. Bizarro could very easily kill Superman. I don't know how many people know that, but Bizarro is definitely stronger than Superman. I think Superman would even admit Bizarro is stronger than him. But he can't muscle Bizarro down. He has to stop and treat Bizarro with compassion. And I think there would be a really interesting lesson to be learned, especially as Americans, taking those things that maybe we don't even want to take responsibility for, whether it's foreign policy, whether it's immigration, people coming here. There are so many different issues in the world that we can't outmuscle. You can't outfight poverty, outfight immigration. You can't outmuscle foreign policy, terrorism, ISIS, dictators, destabilized nations. All those things can't be outmuscled. So it would work well as a parable about, okay, Superman has Bizarro. How does he treat Bizarro? Maybe if he stops to treat Bizarro like a human, figure out what Bizarro wants, figure out how to communicate with Bizarro, not just beating and beating and beating, because Superman can't beat Bizarro. So beating him isn't going to be the answer. You can't fight him. So he has to figure out a way to connect with him, somehow reach some kind of understanding to make Bizarro leave and go away. That's all you can do to Bizarro is make him leave. He can't be killed. and if he's left unchecked, he could destroy the whole planet. So you have to go put Bizarro somewhere. He has to be dealt with, but sent away. He's kind of like, I guess, like a puppy, like a nice dog you kind of see on the street. Like, I can't take you home because you're going to tear up my couch. But, I'll feed you and everything this one time, but you're going to have to go about your business. And then Mongol, I would say Mongol is the third villain because Mongol is more interesting to me than Darkseid. Darkseid is stronger than Mongol, of course. It's not even a contest. But Mongol is a challenge for Superman, another side of Superman being challenged. That side of him that wants to be anonymous, the side of him that wants a secret identity, the side of him that wants to be normal, the side of him that wants to go about his day-to-day life. Mongol is coming out to make him a star, put him on Front Street, make him a gladiator. Mongol is, everything Superman isn't, Mongol is. Mongol wants attention. Mongol wants people to bow to him. He wants subjects. Mongol wants slaves. He wants people added to his collection. He dehumanizes everything. Everything that isn't Mongol is an object to him. He has no connection with any other living thing. They're all trophies. To Mongol, everyone is a trophy. So to Superman, every single person is special. Every single person is unique. Every single person should be cherished. So now you're in an exact conflict with each other because Mongol doesn't value anything. He doesn't care about anything. If it's not entertaining, forget it. So they're on exact opposite edges of the spectrum, kind of like Mojo in Mojo World and the X-Men. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll definitely read it. I respect Ridley. Oh, Michaelito, yeah. John Ridley is great. I respect him a lot more now. I didn't care for John Ridley's other comics, but man, I'm looking out for his comic books now because of next Batman Second Son. That was great. That was really good. I'm more concerned about J.J. Abrams' take on Superman. Yeah, I'm concerned about J.J. Abrams' take on Superman too, because they're missing the point. Superman's race doesn't matter. Nobody cares. I can still relate to Superman being white. Superman is fine white. No one's losing any sleep about Superman being white. Him being white isn't really good or bad. It doesn't reflect on the character at all. It doesn't change anything. And if they really wanted to do a black character, they could do whatever they're going to do with J.J. Abrams. Make J.J. Abrams do Icon. J.J. Abrams doing an adaptation of Dwayne McDuffie. That could be interesting. I mean, he would at least get people to go buy the Dwayne McDuffie books, which is great. More attention to Dwayne McDuffie is always good. He was the greatest writer in all of comic books. So yeah, Dwayne McDuffie needs more attention. J.J. Abrams should have worked with that. And it's actually weird that Ta-Nehisi Coates didn't just say do Icon. So that part's weird too. I don't know what that was about. I wouldn't have written, as a black person, I would write you a white Superman character. Or if you said, no, I want black Superman from you, then I would just say, okay, here's Icon. So either way, that was kind of confusing. I don't know what that was about. Nice dude. I like how you didn't pick Lex or Zod. No, I'm not picking Lex Luthor or Zod. I'm really confused why Hollywood, if they're Superman, they're going with Lex Luthor or Zod. If it's Batman, they're going to the Joker. Yeah, we got to get out of that paradigm. Comic book characters have entire rogues galleries beyond just the main two characters that they lean on as the foil, the most obvious foil out of the comic book, or not even out of the comic book, just the one they know through cultural osmosis. So yeah, Lex and Zod are trash. Lex Luthor is not trash, but he's not a full villain. He's not a villain for Superman. Not a villain worthy of an entire movie. Ridley's gonna write Black Panther. I will definitely read that now. I didn't care. I remembered someone saying that John Ridley was gonna write Black Panther, and I would not have cared until I read next Batman Second Son. Now I definitely care, and I'm definitely going to be reading whatever he writes next. I'm paying way more attention to him now. Jeff Hill, who would you cast as Joker opposite Pattinson? Because you know it's coming. Who would you cast as the Joker? I like Skarsgård from It. He might be too much of a pretty boy, or He might not have the depth. I I think visually it could work though. Um, Honestly, I would like to see Jared Leto come back and do something different. He's a pretty interesting performer. Sometimes he leans a little bit too heavy into the voices and the ticks and impersonating people and cadences and more like the hammy stuff, but he's all right. Um, Honestly, it'd be fun to see Christian Bale come back as the Joker. I mean, they might not ever do it because he's already been Batman, but I'd like to see Christian Bale be more of his true, authentic self, that Terminator Salvation, just spaz out self. I would love to see um, that energy, that chaotic, just frustrated, flabbergasted Christopher Christian Bale. I'm sorry, just like that aggressive, that really aggro Christian Bale as the Joker. I think that'd be fun. Who else could be the Joker? Jim Carrey. Oh, see, you brought up Venom too. I was gonna say Jim Carrey could have been Carnage too. I would have liked to see Jim Carrey as Carnage. I like Woody Harrelson a lot though. That was a solid choice. Um, uh, Jeff Hill. What do you think about Venom 2? Yeah. Um, Man, I'm still trying to think of that right Joker actor though. It's still it's bothering me. Who could be the right Joker? Who would really be a good foil for Robert Pattinson? Um, Honestly, Elijah Wood. I would like to see Elijah Wood be the Joker. Elijah Wood would be a lot of fun as the Joker. And then I will also go to a weird place. I'm going to say Mads Mikkelsen would be great as the Joker. Now, would they ever make Mads Mikkelsen the Joker? No. Would Mads Mikkelsen be great as a Joker? Yes, he would be. He would be great. But yeah, Elijah Wood and Mads Mikkelsen are the two that would be fun for me to see. Elijah Wood is kind of small, so I don't know how that would work. He might not really be that intimidating because he is a pretty small guy. But yeah, yeah, Jeff, you're right. Mads Mikkelsen is one of those guys who could be anything. So it is kind of a cop out to use him. That is is like a catch all. Like, who do you want to see be Batman? Mads Mikkelsen. Who do you want to see be the Joker? Mads Mikkelsen. Who do you want to see be Craven the Hunter? Mads Mikkelsen. Who do you want to see be Thor? Mads Mikkelsen. Like, there's really not too many times when it's the wrong answer to say Mads Mikkelsen. So you are right about that. Um, Elijah Wood would be fun though. Who else is somebody that could give you something with a little bit of depth? Uh, who else could give you a little bit of edge? Uh, this might be a weird one. Carl Urban, though. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. You're right. Who you want to see be Wonder Woman? Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, there's nothing that I wouldn't want to see Mads Mikkelsen in. Um, but yeah. Let me see something a little bit more outside the box. Yeah, Carl Urban. I'd like to see a Carl Urban Joker. Oscar Isaac could be the Joker too. But again, Oscar Isaac and Mads Mikkelsen are two actors where I really don't care. They could be any character in any film. I will watch Oscar Isaac and Mads Mikkelsen. I would see Oscar Isaac be Mads Mikkelsen in a Mads Mikkelsen biopic. I would see Mads Mikkelsen play Oscar Isaac in a biopic. So yeah, those two are kind of a cop out. Um, who else might have something interesting to say with that character? I'm sorry, man. You probably got tired of me answering this question already, but it made me think. It kind of brought me to an interesting place. Honestly, I would like to see a young Kurtwood Smith because I think Kurtwood Smith's energy in RoboCop was pretty much the Joker. I think that was especially if you read the Brian Azzarello Joker series, him and Lee Bermejo. That was just um, Kurtwood Smith and RoboCop, basically the same thing. Um, who else? Who else? Who else? Um, He would never do it, but Robert Downey Jr. That could be fun. He. There's no reason for him to ever agree to be the Joker. He has more money than anyone in the history of acting. Besides maybe I don't know Tom Cruise, so I don't think there's any reason for him to do it. But I definitely watch Robert Downey Jr. as the Joker. That'd be a lot of fun. Elijah Wood is an expired pick. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought Elijah Wood would be interesting. Mad's one of those guys who could be anything. Yep, definitely. I agree with you on that. Wonder Woman, Mads Mikkelsen. Yep, agree. I've always wanted to see Caleb Landry Jones as the Joker. Okay, also interesting. Caleb Landry Jones, actually, to your point, to your question, he would probably be like that, the Joker of the Robert Pattinson era. I would have to agree with you on that. I think Caleb Landry Jones would be that person. I think he'd be the most plausible, like the one most likely to actually be cast if they were to cast a Joker right now. So you're right. I think Caleb Landry Jones, I think he could do it. Um, but again, I just hope whoever they pick doesn't go to Jared Leto and be too sticky about it. That's really the part that's kind of hard. How do you stop someone from really just leaning too hard into the trying to be like Jack Nicholson? Because only Jack Nicholson can go that, like, really bring that energy, the up here, like manic energy side. So the only other option is to go somewhere else, somewhere different. Um, I think over here you got Jack Nicholson with a really manic energy. Over here we have Heath Ledger with more of a calculated, subdued madness. So then Caleb would have to go somewhere else, somewhere different. I mean, the the director mentioned. I'm sorry, the director. The director used Nirvana. So if he's using Nirvana in the trailer, maybe we're going a grunge route. Caleb Landry Jones can be a grunge Joker for sure. Um, and Jeff Hill again. Did you like Phoenix, Nicholson, Ledger, Joker the most? I didn't like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker at all. I thought that was stupid. I didn't understand what the hype was around that. I thought it was really weird and dumb. And I like Joaquin Phoenix as an actor. I like him in Gladiator, liked him in Her, I liked him in The Master. I like Joaquin Phoenix, but I don't understand what was going on. The Joker movie was trash to me. It was terrible. It was not good at all. It was the worst possible version of where that could have gone. So yeah, I didn't understand the hype around Joaquin Phoenix in the movie. It was terrible. Uh, you forgot Cesar Romero too. We got to take it all the way back to the mustache paint and Adam West. I won't count Mark Hamill though because it's not fair. Of course, Mark Hamill is the best, so we won't count Mark Hamill. But I like Cesar Romero way better than I like Joaquin Phoenix. Nicholson, Jack Nicholson is untouchable. I really don't. I really don't even know what to say about that performance. He's so interesting. He's so watchable. He's so energetic. They That was back in the day when you could pay an actor an exorbitant amount of money and they wouldn't just phone it in. They wouldn't just dial 1-800, build a performance, and just go on autopilot, bring out a life model decoy, and just let the life model decoy act out their role while they count the money. Um, Jack Nicholson was so. There's a lot of nuance to the Jack Nicholson performance that you only get after you've watched the movie a few times. But Jack Nicholson is almost like an animal. He can lash out. He can be super manic, and you don't know what he's going to do. But then he can sit back. He can lay back. He can be calm. So the character is really human in that way. Um, Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger really came out of left field. No, I remember when I was a kid, that was not on my radar. Heath Ledger bringing that energy to the role, that um, that attitude to the role. Um, I just don't think anyone could have predicted Heath Ledger coming out so strong. I would have to give Heath Ledger the nod for being the most iconic. I think Jack Nicholson is my personal favorite because there's so much nuance. I think that Jack Nicholson didn't get enough credit for in that role because he was so big and so loud. I think there are moments in his performance that he doesn't get credit for there. Heath Ledger, though, is definitely the most legendary, most iconic, um, because it was such a departure from everything we came to expect from that character, from the Joker. So, um, I really don't think it's even close. Heath Ledger's really, he's going to be remembered in cinema history for that role. So many videos on YouTube were Joker impersonations after the movie came out. I mean, there's really no way to downplay what he did there. Zach Galifianakis did a great job in Lego Batman too. He did pretty well also in Lego Batman. He was great. He was a lot of fun. Jeff, I like Todd Phillips' Joker. I respect your opinion. I get it though. It was a bit overhyped. I think he put on a great performance, but he wasn't necessarily a great Joker. Yeah, I think he was in a different movie. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I think Todd Phillips and him were making a different movie. I don't think Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix should have made a Joker movie. I think if they had just made a film about a guy going through these different things in life, didn't know is my dad, is this not my dad? I'm struggling, I'm broke. I think trying to lump the Batman, and my Batman's brother, and it was too close to what Tim Burton was doing with the I killed your parents, I made you Batman, but you dropped me in the acid, so blah blah blah. We made each other. Like it was too close to that. Um, the Todd Phillips, I understand why people like the Todd Phillips Joker. I think in the abstract, I don't necessarily get every component. I mean, the music was incredible. Some of the cinematography was great. Specific shots were very iconic, very well photographed. His DP was great. Um, Joaquin Phoenix, again, Joaquin Phoenix was performing. I cannot say he wasn't. Okay, Joaquin Phoenix was not acting poorly. Joaquin Phoenix has never turned in a bad. I don't think he's ever been bad in a movie where he just did not act. He just did not show up. I don't think Joaquin Phoenix has never just been disappointing and just been trash. Um, but I think Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips were trying to make the Joker movie. Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips were trying to make something better than what their script allowed them to make. If they wanted to really get into what they were trying to get into, they needed a better writer. The Joker script was not good. There had to have been some more depth to. Yeah, exactly. Michael Ito, yeah, they were just making King of Comedy again with more violence. Yeah, exactly, yes. And that's why I think Martin Scorsese was a producer on the movie. Yeah, exactly. Um they who could have Ben Affleck could have made that movie well, because I thought The Town was really good, and I think Jeremy Renner in The Town was basically the same character that Joaquin Phoenix should have been. So yeah, I would have liked to see a Ben Affleck Joker movie. Uh, who else? Um, who could really have written something interesting for that Joker movie? Uh, Maybe like Damien Chazelle from First Man and Whiplash. He could have done something interesting. That might have been an interesting Joker movie. Um, but who could have really written him something fun and dark? Who could have done something really weird? Maybe Shane Black. Shane Black could have done an interesting Joker movie. Written and directed by him or just written by him. Shane Black could have given us an interesting Joker movie, definitely. Especially set in that period, like a darker version of The Nice Guys. Something like that. But yeah, Mikey Lito, you're definitely right about the King of Comedy component. I think that's pretty apparent. I don't think they tried to hide that at all. King of Comedy mixed with Taxi Driver, kind of like the ending of Taxi Driver with the King of Comedy. Jeff Hill, Aronofsky. Yeah, why did I forget Aronofsky? You're 100% correct. Aronofsky definitely would have given an interesting Joker movie, would have brought something really cool. And I think it'd be cool to see Jennifer Lawrence be Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie's great though, but I think it'd be fun for Jennifer Lawrence to be Harley Quinn in that situation, to be a therapist. Even if Aronofsky used like Javier Bardem as the Joker, and like Jennifer Lawrence be the therapist, or Bradley Cooper. But those guys are both way older than her, so who could be? I mean, you could do it, Jennifer Lawrence and Caleb Landry Jones. That'd be fun. Directed by Darren Aronofsky. I'd watch that. That's fun. I would definitely watch it. I think that'd be pretty interesting. And you get more into the therapy side. And that was the thing about the Joker movie. I think the Joker movie raised some interesting points, but it just didn't go deep enough in any one topic. It brought up mental health and defunding mental health, brought up using prescriptions to treat, suppressed anxieties and suppressed mental health issues. So it brought up urban sprawl. It brought up gentrification. It brought up the wealthy kind of becoming this parasitic mass on the underclasses. It brought up vigilante violence. It brought up the difference between a terrorist and a vigilante. It brought up what caused an uprising. It touched on a lot of stuff, but it didn't really develop a thesis. It didn't really develop a point of view, or give us an here. Like it didn't prove out a thing like Lego Batman. Lego Batman's whole thing was, okay, Joker is trying to get Batman to understand that we are important to each other. And then they go through this whole, and Batman learns how to accept Robin. So there are a few different arcs in Lego Batman that get completed, and the characters grow as a result. But Joker didn't give me any clear arc, any clear point or purpose or anything like that. So yeah, I don't really know. I don't know what that was about. But it looked really good, and it sounded really good too. So there's that. Y'all read Chainsaw Man? Go read Chainsaw Man. I'm gonna keep saying it every day in all of my live streams. Go read Chainsaw Man. Go. Where's that? Yeah. Go get that. Go find Chainsaw Man. Go read it. It's the best comic book of the last 10 years. Chainsaw Man. Watch that. Watch the trailer, but read the book. Chainsaw Man is great. Chainsaw Man is not what you would think it is. It's not what I thought it was. And it hasn't really gotten to that point where it really goes and becomes a masterpiece. It's getting there. When we get into volume 7, 8, and 9, of Chainsaw Man, when volume 7, 8, and 9 of Chainsaw Man come out, things are going to be very different. The comic book world will react. When Chainsaw Man volume 8 comes out in English, it's going to be a problem. It will be, I'm predicting now, when Chainsaw Man volume 8 comes out in English, you will, and if the anime is out by that time, it's going to take over pop culture in America. All right. Anyway, so, and yes, oh, no, I haven't seen the Y Last Man trailer, so I'm gonna turn that on right now. Yeah, I searched Chainsaw Man after you mentioned it. The last video looks sick. Yes, it is great. Um, but yeah, now that I think about it, don't even worry about it, because when volume 7, 8, I think 6 came out today, or 6 is coming out some point this month. But when volume 7, volume 8, especially 8, when 8 comes out in English, comic books is going to change. The whole comic book industry will be put on notice when volume 8 of Chainsaw Man comes out in English. And if they ignore it, they ignore it at their own peril, because it is an unparalleled work of art. Chainsaw Man volume 8 is the best comic book to come out in the last 15 years. And yes, the design is great. All right, to touch back on your point about Y the Last Man, let me go find it. I honestly never thought it would come out. I'm a big fan of the comic, so I never thought that would happen. And it seemed like it was totally unfilmable. Boom. So let's see what happens. Oh, okay. It's on FX. I'm watching it now.
Mr. President.
I'm fine.
Come on, guys. This is a man's world.
Oh, this is interesting.
But it would be nothing without a woman on the bed. Madam President, power plants will start to shut down. Which city? All of them. Somewhere.
Oh, Diane Lane? Huh.
Who are you? You're reproductively interesting.
Wow. Okay.
People are going to have to pick sides. They are hungry. Angry. Terrified.
Oh.
We will rebuild together.
Cool. I'm glad you told me about that. I hadn't seen it. Oh, you just watched the Chainsaw Man trailer. Yeah, what did you watch? Yeah, no, Chainsaw Man. Like I said, when the Chainsaw Man anime comes out, the entire comic book world will change. I'm 100% certain that by the time the Chainsaw Man anime, when we get to the point where the Chainsaw Man anime has adapted the entire first part of Chainsaw Man, comic books will be different on the other side of it. It will change the art form. Chainsaw Man will change the art form when the anime is finished. When it completes part 1, it will change comic books. The Chainsaw Man comic book is the greatest comic book of the last 10 years. The storytelling is amazing. The story is amazing. The panel-to-panel continuity and design is amazing. Hey, don't even worry about picking it up in book form. Pay $2. Here's my other commercial for the day that I will repeat on every stream. Get the Shonen Jump app. Only pay $2 a month, and you can read all kinds of stuff. They got Sakamoto Days on there. They got Kaiju number 8 on there. They got Phantom Seer on there. What else is there? Of course, Chainsaw Man, Bleach, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Boruto. Samurai 8, Dr. Stone. Yeah, just don't even worry about trying to buy it because, I mean, honestly, they cost like $30. The books are starting to sell out for whatever. I don't know why. I guess there's like a manga shortage or paper shortage or something. Chainsaw Man and a lot of other Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer, all of that is out of print, I guess, right now. So it's getting expensive, but just get the Shonen Jump app. It's amazing. It's only $2. It's $1.99 a month. So, and you get a ton of comics. Yeah, there's no better deal in comic books for less than half the cost of a. Let me look. How much did I pay for Batman Second Son? Let's look it up. Let's get this straight. Batman Second Son. One issue of Batman Second Son is $4.99. Okay, so let's see. That is $5. So for $5, you could get 2.5 months of Shonen Jump on the Shonen Jump app. So definitely go ahead and get the Shonen Jump app. I love American comics, but they're not anywhere close. I'm a big American comic book fan. It's not really fair. Manga is way better than American comic books right now. I love American comic books. I'm a big comic book fan. I like Japanese manga and I like American comics, but it's not close. Manga is giving American comics the blues right now. I mean, Candy Flurry is amazing. Sakamoto Days is amazing. Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin is amazing. Chainsaw Man, of course, is on top of all. My Hero Academia is amazing. Kaiju number 8 is great. All right. Yeah, I searched Chainsaw Man after you mentioned. Looks sick. Love the design. Dude, just watched the Chainsaw Man trailer. What did I just watch? Super intrigued, man. I'm going to have to pick it up. How would you describe the manga? Can you compare it to any other story? No, Chainsaw Man cannot be compared to any other story. But I will, hold on. Let me see if I can find Tatsuki Fujimoto's first comic. I believe it's publicly available online. Because the best way to describe Tatsuki Fujimoto's work is to just refer you to other Tatsuki Fujimoto work. And let me see if I can find his first short story, because his first short story is pretty amazing. If you read if you just look up his name and look up his original shorts. All right, here we go. I will post the name of his best short stories in the chat, and they only take a few minutes to read. But they're amazing. So this is the name of one. You can search that online. There's translated versions online because I read it in English. I can't read Japanese. What was his other one? I want to say it was this one. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. But yeah, this Chainsaw Man was great. Fire Punch was pretty good. But yeah, these two, yeah, if you read these two and you like these or you think it's interesting, then Chainsaw Man is worth your time. And then Fire Punch is way more brutal than Chainsaw Man, way more angry than Chainsaw Man, way more confrontational than Chainsaw Man. So yeah, check those out if you want to learn more about Tatsuki Fu. Oh, let me write his name too. Hold on. Yeah, so if Tatsuki Fujimoto is Jesus in the metaphor, I'm John the Baptist. I'm definitely out trying to baptize everybody in the name of Fire Punch, Chainsaw Man, and Look Back. So let me think of how to describe Chainsaw Man, because I don't like it when people say, well, what's it similar to? And then you say, oh, it's nothing. I don't know how to compare it. So I will try to compare it real quick, Jeff, to kind of cut to the heart of what makes it interesting. It's like a James Gunn, honestly. Chainsaw Man is like James Gunn. If you like James Gunn's work, if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, if you like Slither, it's like the Belko Experiment. Actually, it's a lot like Chainsaw Man is a lot like the Belko Experiment. If you like the Belko Experiment, if you like James Gunn's sense of humor, you'll like Chainsaw Man. It's pretty much all that. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Super. If you like Super from James Gunn, Chainsaw Man is that. Chainsaw Man is pretty much Super. So if you like Super, if you like the James Gunn style of humor, like where the violence is the humor, yeah, that. I don't want to spoil anything because Chainsaw Man is also more than the humor. I guess I'm trying not to spoil it because it takes away some of the impact if you know where it's going. But Paradise Lost, Dante's Inferno, James Gunn, and maybe Charlie Kaufman. James Gunn and Charlie Kaufman adaptation. No. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a Charlie Kaufman and James Gunn mix. Whatever that will bring you to, that would be Chainsaw Man. Because I'll say this, if you're a fan of movies, you'll be a fan of Tatsuki Fujimoto, a fan of American film. I don't know how he knows so much about American film or international film, but he's very well versed in American film. And he uses American cinematic language very heavily in Chainsaw Man, heavily in Fire Punch too. Fire Punch is all about Star Wars. So I don't know how he knows so much about American entertainment or why it matters so much to him, but yeah, he's definitely very literate, very film literate. There are a lot of little small references to things like The Raid or 2001: A Space Odyssey, Takashi Miike, and his inspirations are so broad. It's really, it does it a disservice to try to wrap your head around it and explain it, but yeah, pretty amazing. Mikey Lito, I'm not sure if you're still here, but thank you for watching. If you were here and left, appreciate you. Y'all are my first 2 live viewers, so thank y'all for watching. I've been going for 2 hours now, so I know y'all are probably tired of hearing me talk. I guess I'll talk. Oh, okay. You're still here. Oh, yeah. Let people know I'm here. If people are looking for me, we need to promote the location of your channel because several of us have been looking for it. Yeah, I got to hit the hay. Yeah. All right, man. Good night, Jeff. I'll go ahead and hop off. Mikey Lito, yeah. Well, I mean, if anybody wants to hop back on, I'll probably get back on like right at midnight in an hour or two. But yeah, let everybody know I'm here. Mikey Lito, let them know I'm out here. Jeff, appreciate you. Let them know I'm here. I guess I'll hop back on Observations again another day and just put a super chat up and let people know I'm out here. But yeah, spread the word. I'm around every night at midnight. Appreciate y'all. I'm glad, Mikey. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream, man. Jeff, good night. Hope everything's good at work too. And I guess I'll talk. If y'all come back tomorrow, I'll be here tomorrow. If not, I'll be back on Monday. Y'all have a good rest of y'all's night. If I don't see y'all at the midnight stream in an hour or so. All right. Bye, y'all. Catch you later. Appreciate y'all helping me out with the topic because I wouldn't have known what else to talk about. And thanks for telling me the audio wasn't on. I was been streaming with no audio. All right. Bye, y'all.